Have you ever experienced something so peculiar it felt like a glitch in the Matrix? We're not talking about those everyday surprises that catch you off guard. We're talking about occurrences that feel so out of place, so completely impossible by our understanding of the world, that they make you question everything you've ever known about reality. These are the kinds of experiences that seem to distort the very fabric of existence. They're not just your typical oddities or puzzling situations. These are the kinds of moments that warp your understanding of reality, making you question the very foundation of your existence. They're the kind of occurrences that leave you standing there, completely dumbfounded, unable to understand how something like could possibly happen. We're talking about strange, unexplainable moments that just don't seem to fit into our regular understanding of how the world works. These are that leave you standing there, scratching your head, unable to comprehend what just happened. We're talking about instances that are so odd, so completely out of place, that they leave you feeling shaken and unsure of your own understanding of reality. In this journey today, we'll be delving into 7 such stories, each one leaving you more perplexed than the last one. Each tale more puzzling and disconcerting than the one before. Each narrative filled with bewildering that will leave you questioning your own understanding of reality. These stories are not just simple anomalies or oddities. They're the kind of stories that will make you question everything you've ever known about the world around you. Each story is a reminder of the inexplicable nature of our universe, a testament to the fact that there are still so many mysteries left to be discovered. So, are you ready to have your understanding of reality challenged? Are you ready to dive headfirst into the strange and unexplainable? Because these are not just your everyday anomalies. They're the kind of stories that will leave you questioning the very of your existence. Brace yourself, because reality as you know it is about to get a little shaky. Prepare to have your understanding of the world around you completely turned upside down. So hold on to your reality, it's about to get a bit shaky. Dive in with us as we explore these intriguing glitches in the Matrix. Imagine walking into a store only to step back in time. It's much more than a simple thought, it's a journey, a magical experience. You're just an everyday person, perhaps running errands on your lunch break, or perhaps trying to find the perfect outfit for the upcoming weekend. You're drawn to the store's unassuming facade, the old-style lettering sparking a curiosity in you, pulling you away from your routine. This isn't your typical visit to a shopping mall or local boutique. No, this is distinctly different. Picture this. You, a casual shopper stepping off the bustling streets of your city. The chatter of pedestrians fades into the background as the door closes behind you, replaced by the nostalgic hum of retro tunes. You're instantly transported into a world of yesteryears, your senses overwhelmed by the subtle nuances of a different era. The air carries a different scent, a mix of old books and brewed coffee, causing your mind to recall old memories. Around you, the unmistakable sounds of a bygone era reverberate. The gentle clicks of vintage typewriters, the scratchy sound of an old vinyl record playing in the background, the distant laughter echoing, all creating an orchestra of the past. The fashion hanging on the racks, the worn-out leather bags, the vinyl records stacked on a wooden shelf, everything has a story to tell. The vintage charm is everywhere. The dated posters on the walls, the old newspapers lining the counter, the sepia-toned photographs scattered around, all reminiscent of a past decade. The confusion doesn't last, though. Slowly, you begin to adjust to the atmosphere. The initial shock of time travel diminishes, replaced with a sense of wonder and amazement. You find yourself exploring, touching the worn-out fabric, flipping through the vinyl, getting lost in time. You have come to appreciate the old-world charm, the magic of the past that the store has managed to preserve. You have connected with a time you've only read about in books, seen in black-and-white movies, a time you've never experienced before. But as abruptly as it started, it ends. As fast as it had whisked you away, reality snaps back. The familiar sounds of the city creep back in, the old tunes fade away, the vintage charm dims. The dreamlike state of the store disappears as you step back onto the busy streets. As quickly as it began, the shopper found themselves back in the present, left only with the memory of a time they never lived. Ever seen a building disappear overnight? It's an uncanny experience that truly tests the borders of reality and illusion. Imagine strolling past a towering structure one evening, an edifice that imposes its grandeur on the city skyline, a marvel of architectural brilliance that had stood the test of time. Its windows glisten under the evening sun, reflecting the myriad hues of the dying day. The walls, concrete giants, are a testament to human resilience and ingenuity. You can almost hear the echoes of time whispering stories of the structure that has been a silent witness to the ebb and flow of life around it. The next morning arrives and you're prepared another casual glimpse at this magnificent structure, a sight you have taken for granted, a sight you assumed would greet you every day, unfailingly. But as you turn the corner onto the familiar street, you stop and your eyes widen in disbelief. Your heart drops. Something is amiss. Something is out of place. An odd sense of emptiness pervades the spot. Where just yesterday had been the silhouette of architectural magnificence, it's no longer there. What was once a monument to human endeavor is now nothing but vacant land. That's exactly what happened to one individual. He had seen the building in all its glory, had admired it, had perhaps even envied the people who had the privilege of working or living there. There was no mistaking it, the building had been there, solid as a rock, just the day before. Yet, come sunrise, it had vanished. The individual was dumbfounded, his mind racing to make sense of the inexplicable situation. The strangest part was the absence of any telltale signs of a demolition. No rumble of heavy machinery that would have echoed through the quiet streets in the wee hours of the morning. No dust cloud that would have enveloped the area. No signs of a hurried demolition job would have left heaps of debris in its wake. The whole process, if there was one, had been carried out with surgical precision, leaving no traces behind. Everything was pristine, as though the building had never existed, just an eerily quiet void, as if the city itself had swallowed the structure whole, leaving behind nothing but a ghostly silence. It was a bewildering sight, a puzzle that perhaps will never be solved. No debris, no signs of demolition, just an empty space where a building once stood. What would you do if an object you lost years ago suddenly reappeared? This profound question invites us to ponder. Imagine for a moment that you are that individual who loses a cherished object. Perhaps it's a locket that holds an image of a beloved grandparent, or a ring passed down through generations, or even a seemingly ordinary trinket that carries immeasurable personal value. You look for it under every chair, behind every curtain, in every nook and cranny of your home. Your heart would surely pound with each fruitless search, but no trace of it is found, no hint of its whereabouts. As days turn to weeks and weeks to months, the search would gradually become less frequent, the hope of finding the lost treasure less vibrant. Years pass. The object slowly fades from your memory. You may stumble upon other objects that would possibly remind you briefly of the one you lost. Perhaps a similar-looking pendant at a garage sale or a ring at a pawn shop. A melancholic sigh escapes your lips, a remnant of the long-past loss. The object is forgotten, buried deep in the annals of your mind, covered by layers of new memories and experiences. Then, an ordinary day arrives. The sun rises as usual, the birds chirp their customary songs, and the world revolves just like any other day. Yet this day holds something extraordinary within its folds. As if playing some cosmic joke, the universe decides it is time. It's time for the lost to be found, for the forgotten to be remembered. The object you lost years ago, the object you mourned, sits in front of you as if it has never been away. The surprise is, the confusion sweeps over you like a wave, leaving you drenched in disbelief. Your heart pounds louder than ever, matching the chaotic rhythm of your thoughts. Is this a dream? Is this a trick or an unexplainable glitch in the matrix? We never know. It throws everything you thought you knew into disarray, spinning your reality into a vortex of astonishment. You hold the object in your hands, the texture familiar under your fingers, the weight comforting. You realize that sometimes the universe conspires in the most mysterious ways. Just when we think we've lost something forever, it might just reappear as if by magic. Have you ever noticed a shadow that doesn't quite match its source? That peculiar occurrence when the silhouette cast on the wall doesn't quite sync with the object forming it. Now let's delve deeper into this uncanny phenomenon. Picture this. You're sitting in your favorite room, a space you've sat in 1,000 times before. The light from the evening sun flows in through the window, casting familiar shadows around you. The shadows that play on the walls are akin to old friends, their shapes and movements as well known to you as the lines on the back of your hand. The room is quiet, with just the gentle hum of the outside world creeping through the window. You're lost in your own thoughts, maybe engrossed in a book, or simply staring off into space. Out of the corner of your eye, something unusual occurs. You spot a shadow that's moving differently from its source. It's an odd, out-of-place movement that immediately captures your attention. You stare at it, transfixed. It doesn't make sense. Shadows are supposed to mimic their source, not move independently of it. You shake your head, thinking it's just a trick of the light, or perhaps your imagination playing tricks on you. You blink your eyes, refocus, but the discrepancy persists. It continues to move in a way that defies logic. It's as if the shadow has a mind of its own, acting in defiance of the laws of physics and light. You start to feel a creeping sense of unease. Your heart rate picks up, your palms become a touch clammy. The room that was once your sanctuary, your haven of peace and quiet, now feels eerie and unsettling. The shadows on the wall seem to be dancing to their own tune, disregarding the objects that should be controlling their movements. You blink again, rub your eyes, but it's still there, the shadow that's moving independently of its source. You feel the chill of fear up your spine even as you try to rationalize the situation. It's just a shadow after all, but it's behaving in a way that shadows shouldn't behave, breaking the rules that govern our reality. Your mind races, coming up with all sorts of wild theories. Could it be a glitch in the matrix, a sign of parallel universes, or just an optical illusion? Sometimes even the most mundane things like shadows can turn into mysterious anomalies, making us question our perception of reality. Can a familiar place suddenly become unfamiliar? This question, at first glance, appears to be simple, even absurd, yet it holds the essence of an intriguing paradox of life. Imagine, you've spent your entire life in a small town. You know your neighborhood like the back of your hand. Every nook and cranny, every hidden shortcut, you've explored them all. You're acquainted with every tree that lines the streets, every stray cat that roams freely, every patch of greenery that sprouts unexpectedly. You can navigate your way around blindfolded, so deeply have you memorized the layout of your place. The familiarity it holds comforts you, a home not just in construction, but consider this one day, as the sun rises and you set out for your routine walk. You're walking down the same cobblestone streets that have echoed with your footsteps for years, decades even, and suddenly everything seems off. The buildings that you've passed by countless times seem out of place. They appear to have been displaced, their structures seem alien, their colors drained. The streets that have been etched into your memory are misaligned. The comforting predictability that had once embodied your town now seems to be crumbling, replaced by an unsettling. These changes grope at your mind. A wave of disorientation washes over you. Anxiety gnaws at your insides, a chilling fear creeping up your spine. You stumble, your steps falter, as your surroundings distort around you. You experience a surreal disconnect, a feeling of being lost in a place you once home. Your breath falters, your heart pounds, a reflection of your internal turmoil. How can something so familiar become so alien so quickly? The streets you've walked on for years, the buildings that bore silent witness to your life, that has been an integral part of your existence. How did they morph into strangers overnight? You're left grappling with this bewildering transformation, a disconcerting shift that shakes the very foundation of your being. It's a stark reminder that even in our comfort zones, even in spaces that we believe we control, that we believe are constant, change is the only true constant. Our perception of the world around us can shift in an instant. In the blink of an eye, the familiar can turn into the unfamiliar. Have you ever been stuck in traffic that doesn't exist? Imagine this peculiar scenario. A lone driver, let's refer to them as Alex, finds themselves trapped in what appears to be a horrendous traffic jam. As far as the eye can see, the road ahead is nothing but a ceaseless sea of red taillights. A maze of metallic beasts, their glowing eyes staring back at Alex like a fearsome army, ready to devour the rest of the